In a world that constantly pushes us to expand our social circles, seek validation, and fill our lives with endless connections, there's a profound truth often overlooked. The man with no friends or only a very small circle is, paradoxically, one of the most secure individuals. Cut to visuals of a person walking alone in nature, deep in thought. Today, we'll explore this powerful idea through the lens of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches the value of inner peace, self-reliance, and emotional independence. In a society that thrives on the noise of social interactions and the constant need for approval, we'll discuss why solitude, when embraced, can lead to a life of tranquility and unshakable security. Brief pause. Soft music fades in. So sit back and join me as we dive into why being alone doesn't mean being lonely, and how the Stoic mindset can help us live with less attachment to the opinions of others. And with the channel's name and call to action, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights on Stoicism and personal growth. Number 1. A man who doesn't need friends to feel strong. There is a certain type of man who doesn't need the company of others to feel strong. He stands apart, not out of arrogance or disdain for social connection, but because his strength doesn't stem from the validation or support of others. Instead, he draws his power from within. This man walks through life with a quiet confidence, one that is built on self-reliance and inner resilience. He understands the value of companionship, but doesn't lean on it as a crutch. He knows that the foundation of true strength lies in the ability to stand alone, to face the world and its challenges without needing to rely on anyone else for emotional or physical support. To the outside world, this man might seem distant or solitary, but those who truly understand him know that he's not lonely. He has mastered the art of self-sufficiency. His mind is a fortress, his spirit unyielding to the harsh winds of uncertainty. Where others might falter in the absence of friends, he stands firm, grounded in his own sense of purpose and direction. He knows that friendships and relationships can enrich life, but they are not the crux of his identity. His strength comes from his ability to carry his burdens without complaint, to face adversity with a calm, unwavering resolve. The man who doesn't need friends is often misunderstood. Society places great importance on social bonds, convincing many that one cannot thrive without a network of people around them. However, for this man, the notion that strength is reliant on others is foreign. He has learned to trust in his own abilities, relying on his mind and body to meet the challenges life throws his way. When he falls, he rises again, not because someone lifts him up, but because he has the strength to lift himself. His resilience is a product of countless experiences where he stood alone, facing hardships that would have broken lesser men. He finds peace in solitude, not because he dislikes people, but because he knows that solitude is where true growth occurs. It is in those moments of isolation that he learns about himself, facing the darkest parts of his soul and emerging stronger. Without the distractions of others' expectations or opinions, he is free to explore his inner world, honing his mental and emotional fortitude. This self-discovery, often painful but ultimately empowering, is what shapes his strength. Yet this doesn't mean the man is closed off to others. He can still form relationships, still experience camaraderie and love. But he doesn't depend on these connections to fuel his sense of self-worth. His value is not determined by the number of friends he has or the approval of those around him. Instead, it is rooted in his own perception of who he is and the integrity with which he lives his life. This sense of inner strength allows him to navigate relationships with a sense of ease, not seeking validation, but offering respect and connection when it is genuine. In the end, the man who doesn't need friends to feel strong teaches a profound lesson: that true strength comes from within. It's not about the number of people in your life, but the depth of your own character. It's about knowing that, no matter what happens, you can rely on yourself to face the trials of life. While friendships can add richness to life, they are not the source of true power. The real power is knowing that no matter how dark the road ahead, you are strong enough to walk it alone, and that is the greatest strength of all. Number 2. The power in solitude and silence. In today's fast-paced world, where we are constantly surrounded by noise, distractions, and the hustle of daily life, the value of solitude and silence is often overlooked. Yet these two elements possess incredible power to transform our lives, offering a space for introspection, creativity, and inner peace. Solitude and silence are not simply the absence of sound or company. They are opportunities for self-reflection, deep thought, and a return to our true selves. In the stillness, we find the clarity we often seek in the chaos of the external world. Solitude offers a profound opportunity for self-discovery. In a society where we are continually plugged into social media, work, and the expectations of others, we seldom take the time to be alone with our thoughts. When we are alone, free from external influences, we can explore the depths of our own mind. Solitude provides the space to ask difficult questions, confront inner fears, and understand what we truly desire. It is in solitude that many of our greatest insights arise, as we are not swayed by the opinions or distractions of the outside world. The quiet moments spent alone allow us to tune into our own emotions and intuitions, leading to greater self-awareness and personal growth. Silence, similarly, holds great power in nurturing our mental and emotional well-being. In the absence of noise, our mind can recalibrate, finding its natural rhythm. In a world where constant chatter, music, and media bombard us from every direction, silence is a rare but invaluable gift. Silence offers a break from the overstimulation that often leads to stress, anxiety, and burnout. It provides the necessary space for our thoughts to settle, for ideas to incubate, and for our bodies to rest. When we choose silence, we allow ourselves to breathe more deeply, to think more clearly, and to feel more grounded. The combination of solitude and silence can ignite creativity and inspiration. Many great thinkers, artists, and innovators have sought out periods of solitude to connect with their inner genius. Without the distractions of the outside world, our minds are free to wander, exploring new ideas and possibilities. Silence, without the interference of external noise, allows our brains to make new connections, to think outside the box, and to produce work that is original and profound. It is in moments of quietude that the seeds of great works are planted, whether it be in writing, art, music, or problem-solving. Moreover, solitude and silence can deepen our sense of spirituality and connection to something greater than ourselves. In the stillness, many individuals find solace, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply being in nature. The absence of distractions allows us to tap into a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. When we step away from the noise of the world, we can hear the subtle whispers of our intuition or a higher power, guiding us toward the right path. It is in these sacred moments of silence that we can cultivate a sense of peace, belonging, and alignment with our true selves. While it may seem counterintuitive, solitude and silence are not about isolation or loneliness. Rather, they are about reconnecting with our own essence and gaining a deeper understanding of who we are. The power in these moments lies not in their emptiness, but in their ability to fill us with clarity, insight, and peace. In solitude and silence, we find the space to recharge, to reflect, and to grow. In a world filled with noise and distraction, these moments are precious, offering a refuge where we can rediscover our inner strength and creativity. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or disconnected, remember the transformative power that solitude and silence offer. It is in these quiet moments that we often find the answers we have been searching for all along. Number 3. Friendship as a choice, not a necessity. Friendship, often regarded as one of the most significant and cherished aspects of human existence, is frequently perceived as an indispensable necessity. From childhood, we are taught the value of friends, how they provide companionship, support, and happiness. However, while it is true that friendship plays a crucial role in our emotional well-being, it should not be viewed as an absolute necessity. Instead, friendship is a choice, an intentional, deliberate bond that we form with others, based on mutual respect, shared values, and emotional connection. Viewing friendship as a choice rather than a necessity allows us to redefine the way we approach our relationships, enabling us to make healthier, more fulfilling decisions. The idea that friendship is a necessity often leads to unhealthy relationships and unrealistic expectations. When we view friends as something we need, there can be a pressure to maintain friendships that no longer serve our personal growth or happiness. This can result in lingering in toxic, unbalanced friendships simply out of a sense of obligation or to fill a void rather than actively choosing friends who align with our values and who contribute positively to our lives. In these circumstances, friendship becomes more of a dependence than a mutual, enriching connection. When we acknowledge that friendship is a choice, we are freed from the need to keep people in our lives who no longer contribute to our well-being. Instead, we can focus on surrounding ourselves with individuals who encourage us to grow, challenge us to think differently, and support us through life's challenges. Furthermore, the idea of friendship as a choice emphasizes the importance of quality over quantity. In a world where social media often distorts our understanding of relationships, it's easy to get caught up in accumulating a vast number of friends or followers, with little attention paid to the depth or authenticity of those connections. However, genuine friendship is not about how many people we know, but about the quality of those relationships. When we see friendship as a choice, we begin to prioritize the bonds that are based on trust, understanding, and mutual respect. A small circle of true friends who genuinely care for us can be far more valuable than a large group of acquaintances who may not be able to offer the same level of support or authenticity. Additionally, friendship as a choice highlights the value of self-sufficiency and personal fulfillment. It is essential to recognize that, while friends can provide love, support, and camaraderie, they should not be the sole source of our happiness. Viewing friendship as a choice encourages us to invest in ourselves, to be comfortable with solitude, and to cultivate our own interests, hobbies, and sense of self-worth. When we are content with who we are, friendships become an addition to our lives, enhancing our overall happiness rather than completing an incomplete self. In this sense, friendships become more about mutual enrichment rather than filling a gap or meeting an emotional need. Moreover, the flexibility that comes with choosing our friends allows for deeper connections. We can focus on building relationships with individuals who share our passions, dreams, and ambitions. These friendships are more likely to endure because they are built on a foundation of shared understanding and mutual respect. The choice of who we allow into our lives empowers us to set boundaries and prioritize relationships that promote positive growth and well-being. It's about finding individuals who celebrate our successes and offer support during challenging times, without imposing their own expectations or judgments. Ultimately, by viewing friendship as a choice rather than a necessity, we can cultivate relationships that are authentic, fulfilling, and meaningful. We free ourselves from the notion that we need to be surrounded by friends at all times, and instead learn to appreciate those rare, deep connections that enrich our lives in ways that go beyond simple companionship. In choosing friendship, we choose to build bonds that are meaningful, based on mutual respect and personal growth. Number 4. Self-worth is independent of social approval. Self-worth is often mistakenly equated with external validation or social approval. Yet it is a concept that originates within and must be nurtured independently of the opinions of others. In a world where social media platforms, popular culture, and societal expectations constantly project images of success and happiness, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring our value by how well we conform to these ideals. We may seek the applause of others or feel diminished when approval is absent, but true self-worth cannot be defined by external measures. It is a deeply personal recognition of one's inherent value. At the core of self-worth lies the understanding that we are valuable, not because of what we achieve, how we look, or how others perceive us, but simply because we exist. Our intrinsic worth is not subject to fluctuation based on someone's fleeting opinion or an arbitrary standard set by society. It is founded on the truth that we are unique individuals with our own experiences, perspectives, and capabilities, which contribute to the world in meaningful ways. Social approval, while gratifying in the moment, cannot define or sustain this value. If we base our worth on the approval of others, we place ourselves in a precarious position, constantly adjusting to meet external expectations, and leaving little room for personal growth or authenticity. When we seek validation from others, we often lose sight of our own values, needs, and desires. We start to define ourselves by how we are seen, forgetting that each person's approval is subjective. What one person admires might not be what another values, and this inconsistency reveals the flaw in depending on external feedback for self-worth. People's opinions are influenced by their own experiences, biases, and limitations, making them unreliable barometers for determining our true value. If we tie our self-worth to their approval, we risk a never-ending chase, always striving to fit into different molds set by others, and never feeling fully secure in who we are. Moreover, the quest for external validation can lead to unhealthy patterns, such as perfectionism or people-pleasing. These behaviors stem from the fear that if we are not constantly approved of or admired, we will be deemed unworthy. However, this cycle is exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling, because it ignores the fact that self-worth is internal and enduring, not conditional on fluctuating external factors. Building self-worth from within allows us to remain grounded, regardless of the highs and lows that come with seeking approval. It encourages us to recognize our accomplishments, celebrate our strengths, and acknowledge our flaws without judgment. It fosters a sense of confidence that doesn't require constant reassurance from others. True self-worth is an act of self-love and acceptance. It means recognizing that our mistakes do not diminish us, our challenges do not define us, and our worth is not tied to our productivity or how others perceive us. It encourages us to pursue goals that align with our values rather than the expectations of others, and to set boundaries that protect our mental and emotional well-being. Self-worth also means understanding that we have the power to shape our own narrative. We are not the sum of others' opinions, nor are we bound to live up to societal standards of success. Our worth is shaped by our character, our integrity, and our ability to remain true to ourselves. In conclusion, self-worth is not dependent on social approval. It is an internal compass that helps us navigate life with confidence, authenticity, and resilience. While feedback and support from others can be helpful, they should never be the foundation of our sense of value. The only validation we truly need is the one that comes from within, and when we learn to embrace that, we unlock a deeper, more fulfilling sense of self-worth that remains unshaken by the fleeting judgments of the world around us. Number 5. Protecting inner peace brings strength. In a world constantly bombarded by external noise, stress, and uncertainty, the importance of protecting one's inner peace has never been more crucial. Inner peace, often described as a state of calm and balance within oneself, is the bedrock upon which resilience, emotional health, and strength are built. When we consciously create and protect this tranquility, we are not just safeguarding our mental and emotional well-being, but we are also empowering ourselves to navigate life's challenges with grace and determination. The foundation of inner peace lies in the ability to manage our thoughts and emotions, especially during times of adversity. Life is full of unexpected events, whether it's a sudden crisis, a personal loss, or everyday stress. How we react to these situations defines our mental state. Those who maintain a peaceful inner world are not immune to hardship, but they possess the strength to respond rather than react impulsively. Protecting inner peace means acknowledging that we cannot control everything around us, but we can control how we respond. This awareness grants a sense of power, as it shifts the focus from external circumstances to internal resilience. When we prioritize inner peace, we cultivate the ability to remain composed in difficult situations. This calmness doesn't imply passivity. Rather, it's a grounded strength that enables us to think clearly, make thoughtful decisions, and act purposefully. In the midst of chaos, the ability to stay centered is a form of strength that often goes unnoticed. It allows us to rise above the noise, to keep our focus sharp, and to make choices that align with our values and goals. The strength drawn from inner peace becomes an anchor, helping us stay steady while everything around us is in motion. Moreover, protecting inner peace nurtures our emotional intelligence. Emotions, if left unchecked, can cloud judgment and cause unnecessary turmoil. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, or simply taking time to reflect, we learn to observe our emotions without being swept away by them. We become more adept at recognizing when negative feelings arise and can deal with them in a constructive manner. This emotional regulation strengthens our capacity to handle conflict, build healthier relationships, and maintain a positive outlook, even in the face of difficulty. The act of protecting inner peace also fosters self-love and self-respect. In a society that often glorifies busyness and external achievements, it is easy to lose sight of the importance of inner well-being. By setting boundaries and making time for self-care, we send a message to ourselves that our peace is valuable and worthy of protection. This respect for our own needs not only improves our mental health, but also enhances our ability to care for others. We cannot pour from an empty cup, and by nurturing our inner peace, we ensure that we have the energy and capacity to offer kindness, empathy, and support to those around us. Furthermore, when we shield our inner peace from negativity and toxicity, we become less susceptible to the opinions and judgments of others. We develop the strength to stand firm in our values and beliefs, unshaken by external pressures. The peace we cultivate within ourselves acts as a shield, protecting us from unnecessary emotional harm and enabling us to live authentically. This authenticity brings confidence and a sense of empowerment that strengthens our personal and professional lives. In conclusion, protecting inner peace is not a passive endeavor. It is an active practice that requires intention and mindfulness. It is a lifelong commitment to nourishing our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The strength that comes from this peace is multifaceted. It enables us to respond with grace, to make wise decisions, to regulate our emotions, and to live authentically. By protecting our inner peace, we create a solid foundation of strength that allows us to thrive, even in the most challenging circumstances. Number 6, society's misunderstanding of solitude. Solitude, often misunderstood in contemporary society, is too frequently equated with loneliness or isolation, fostering negative connotations and misconceptions. In our hyper-connected world, where social media platforms constantly remind us of the lives others lead, solitude is viewed as an anomaly, something to be avoided at all costs. People are encouraged to surround themselves with others at all times, to constantly engage in conversations, activities, and public appearances. As a result, solitude is sometimes seen as a failure to fit in, a sign of personal inadequacy, or a form of suffering. This view of solitude overlooks its profound and transformative potential. Rather than being a state of emptiness or sadness, solitude can offer a rich opportunity for self-reflection, creativity, and personal growth. It is in solitude that many of the world's greatest artists, thinkers, and innovators have found the space to connect deeply with their inner selves and to bring new ideas into the world. Albert Einstein, for example, once said, "The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulate the creative mind." Yet, in a culture that prizes constant engagement and social validation, the idea of spending time alone is often misunderstood as a sign of dysfunction or abnormality. There is also a societal pressure to be perpetually busy, where personal worth is often measured by the amount of time one spends with others, the level of social participation, and the degree of visibility in the public eye. This overemphasis on outward engagement can lead to a superficial sense of connection, one that is more about maintaining an image than fostering deep, meaningful relationships. Solitude, in contrast, offers an antidote to this frantic pace. It provides a rare opportunity to disengage from the noise of the outside world and to tune into one's thoughts, emotions, and desires. This inner dialogue is crucial for self-awareness, enabling individuals to understand their true motivations, values, and goals without the distortion of external expectations. Additionally, the fear of being alone can also lead to unhealthy relationships. People often cling to others to avoid facing their own discomfort or insecurities in solitude. This can result in toxic dynamics, where individuals rely on others for validation and self-worth, rather than cultivating a sense of internal fulfillment. In such circumstances, solitude is not a desired state, but something to be feared and avoided. However, when embraced in a healthy way, solitude allows individuals to develop a more robust sense of self, which can enhance their interactions with others. It fosters emotional resilience, enabling people to navigate relationships from a place of strength rather than dependency. Moreover, the concept of solitude often gets conflated with being socially disconnected, but in truth, solitude can coexist with strong social connections. It is not about rejecting relationships, but rather about learning to find balance between social engagement and personal space. Time alone can be a powerful way to recharge, to develop new perspectives, and to return to the world with greater clarity and intention. In fact, many people who value solitude report that they have more fulfilling relationships because they are better equipped to understand themselves and others. The misunderstanding of solitude is a reflection of a larger societal issue: the diminishing value placed on introspection and personal growth. In a world that values external achievements and the opinions of others, the quiet inward journey is often overlooked or underestimated. Yet solitude has always been a sanctuary for those seeking depth and meaning in their lives. It offers the freedom to think, to question, and to evolve without the pressure to conform to societal norms. Far from being a state of loneliness, solitude is a powerful tool for personal transformation, and it deserves to be recognized as such. It is time for society to reevaluate its views on solitude, to recognize it not as something to be feared, but as a vital, enriching part of the human experience. Number 7. True freedom comes from self-understanding. True freedom, often envisioned as liberation from external constraints, actually begins within. It is not just the absence of physical oppression or societal control, but the realization of self-understanding. This deep awareness of one's own nature, desires, limitations, and potential enables us to truly break free from the unseen shackles of fear, doubt, and unconscious patterns. In the pursuit of true freedom, we must first turn inward and question who we are and why we think, feel, and act the way we do. Self-understanding requires introspection. It's not enough to accept the surface-level narratives we tell ourselves about our identities. We must delve deeper, reflecting on our thoughts, behaviors, and the subconscious forces that shape them. This journey is not always comfortable. It can be challenging to confront the parts of ourselves we would rather keep hidden. Our insecurities, our flaws, our tendencies towards self-sabotage. But only by acknowledging these aspects can we begin to understand the driving forces behind our actions. It's in this space of honest self-reflection that we gain the power to choose differently, to respond rather than react, and to make decisions that align with our truest selves. This process of self-discovery is not a solitary endeavor, though. It is deeply interconnected with the relationships we have with others. Through our interactions, we are often mirrored. Other people hold up a reflection of ourselves, highlighting both our strengths and weaknesses. But this reflection is only useful if we are willing to engage with it. We may encounter discomfort or even conflict as we realize how we impact the world around us, but this is part of the learning. By observing how we respond to these reflections, we learn about our own emotional triggers, our fears, and our desires. This feedback loop helps us fine-tune our sense of self, guiding us toward greater authenticity. When we truly understand ourselves, we begin to see the ways in which we limit our own freedom. We may realize that our fears, societal expectations, or the judgments of others have held us back from pursuing our passions or expressing our true selves. These external pressures often manifest as internalized beliefs that dictate what we can or cannot do. But self-understanding gives us the clarity to see beyond these constraints. We become empowered to shed old limiting beliefs and step into a life that feels truer to who we are at our core. The courage to be oneself, unapologetically, is the truest form of freedom. Moreover, self-understanding fosters inner peace as we begin to accept ourselves fully. This acceptance does not mean complacency, nor does it imply that we cease striving to grow. Rather, it means we embrace both our strengths and weaknesses with compassion, recognizing that we are all works in progress. When we stop resisting ourselves, when we stop fighting against the person we are, we liberate our energy for more productive and creative pursuits. We can stop seeking validation from external sources and instead derive satisfaction from the alignment of our actions with our values. Ultimately, true freedom is not a distant ideal, but a continuous practice rooted in self-awareness. It is the freedom to live authentically, to make choices that reflect our deepest truths, and to experience life with an open heart and mind. As we come to understand ourselves more fully, we become less tethered to external circumstances and more anchored in our own sense of purpose. This inner freedom empowers us to navigate the world with confidence, resilience, and compassion, creating ripples that inspire others to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery. In the end, the more we understand ourselves, the more we free ourselves, and the more freedom we cultivate, the more we contribute to the freedom of others. Number 8. Legacy of living an authentic life. Living an authentic life is a journey that often goes beyond self-fulfillment to create a legacy that transcends time. An authentic life is one rooted in personal truth, in living with alignment to one's core values, and in choosing paths that resonate deeply with who we are at the very essence of our being. This lifestyle not only brings inner peace and satisfaction, but also leaves a profound impact on the people we touch. The legacy of such a life is often defined by the ripple effects it creates, inspiring others to live true to themselves, and encouraging a world that embraces individuality and honesty. To live authentically means rejecting societal expectations that often lead to living inauthentically. Many people spend years trying to conform to external standards of success or happiness, only to realize that they are not living in a way that brings them joy or peace. Authenticity requires courage, as it often involves difficult decisions, saying no to external pressures, choosing paths less traveled, and standing firm in one's beliefs despite opposition. However, these challenges become the foundation of the legacy we leave behind, as they allow us to develop deeper connections with others and a more profound understanding of ourselves. The true impact of living authentically is not always immediate, and it may not be recognized in the traditional sense of accomplishments like wealth or fame. Instead, the legacy of authenticity is measured in the depth of relationships, the respect earned from others, and the inspiration we provide by simply living our truth. When we are authentic, we encourage others to be authentic as well. We set an example that it is okay to not fit the mold, to embrace imperfections, and to find strength in vulnerability. In a world that often values conformity over individuality, this kind of legacy can be revolutionary. Moreover, the legacy of living authentically is built on a foundation of personal responsibility. It means taking accountability for our actions, understanding our role in the world, and recognizing the influence we have on others. An authentic life is not one that seeks to manipulate or control, but rather one that seeks to uplift and inspire. By embodying authenticity, we create a safe space for others to do the same. This type of leadership, rooted in integrity and self-awareness, is perhaps the most valuable legacy anyone can leave. The rewards of an authentic life extend far beyond personal growth. They reach into communities, families, and even society as a whole. When we live authentically, we foster a culture of acceptance, where differences are celebrated rather than shunned, and where every person has the space to show up as their true self. This, in turn, creates stronger communities built on trust, respect, and shared understanding. The legacy of such communities is one of collective strength and resilience, where individuals are empowered to be who they truly are without fear of judgment. As we look back on the lives of those who have left a lasting impact on the world, we often find that their legacy was not one of perfection, but one of authenticity. They were not flawless, but they were true to themselves. They made decisions that were right for them, even when it was difficult or unpopular. The legacy they leave is not defined by accolades, but by the depth of their character and the lives they touched through their honesty, vulnerability, and courage. Living authentically does not just create a legacy for ourselves, but for future generations. It teaches those who come after us that living with integrity and authenticity is not only possible, but the key to living a meaningful, fulfilling life. It is through these actions, these daily choices to align with our truest selves, that we create a lasting legacy, one that is not bound by time, but by the enduring power of truth and love. The legacy of living authentically is one that will continue to echo long after we are gone, inspiring others to walk the same path and leave their own marks on the world. In the end, Stoicism teaches us that true security comes from within. A person who cultivates self-reliance, inner peace, and emotional resilience doesn't depend on the validation of a large social circle to feel complete. Whether you have many friends or only a few, the key is to build a strong, unshakable foundation within yourself. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, you can navigate life with greater freedom and stability. So next time you feel pressured by the expectations of others, remember that a small circle can mean a deeper, more meaningful connection with yourself and those who truly matter. Don't forget to subscribe and reflect on your own path to inner strength. Until next time, stay strong, stay secure, and keep embracing the wisdom of Stoicism.